for Blumpkin&Friends, starring your host, the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Hey kids, I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin, and with me here today are my friends,
Neil,
and
number one fan, Tim.
It's three of us. That's fun. It's going to be fun. Here's what we're talking about today. We're talking about my old man's retirement party, because it was kind of an odd event.
We're an unusual family.
Well, it wasn't here at home. It was up at the lake, which was really neat because it was the first time that me and the wife and all four kids had to pile into one vehicle and take a road trip.
Yay.
That was fun. It's because the baby doesn't like to ride in the car sometimes, and then the other three won't shut the fuck up.
Are we there yet?
No!
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 Are we there yet?
You little...
So it's just the whole fucking time, and change the station and turn it up, and I don't want to hear this song. And my favorite, one of them starts singing a song to the radio, and another one tells them, "Don't sing, you can't sing." It's normally Chi-Chi as being a bitch and say, "No, you can't sing. This is my song. It's my favorite song." I'm like, you don't own the fucking radio. I don't know where you get this attitude and sense of entitlement, but you can just shit can your arrogance. We all have to listen.
So you're not listening, as long as you're not listening to like Radio Oz or whatever that used to be.
It's not even a fucking thing anymore.
Kids Bop.
Kids Bop. That's a thing.
That's
still
horrible.
I would rather get fisted by the Incredible Hulk than listen to Kids Bop.
I will say this about Kids Bop, though. Sometimes those kids do better than the original artist. Not that I listen to it, but...
Well, then where are you getting that? What are you
Well,
basing that opinion off of then?
Well, there's a song on 93X that's, I know, some chick. It's like, we're going away, or whatever. They did that on a Kids Bop's album, and they did better than she did. But it's not even rock and roll, so I don't know why the hell it's on 93X to begin with.
I don't even know what song you're talking about.
I don't know.
Listen to 93X, you'll hear it. It's terrible.
So just to be nostalgic, we drove through downtown up north.
Bring Back Memories does it?
Like, nothing's changed. It's still a shitty little town.
They redid the parking lot out in front of the A&W. What do you mean shitty?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because we were strapped for time, we didn't take a run past the pizza pub. I think you know what I mean by that now.
Block.
Nobody drove by and hung their butt out the window like we used to do.
Shenanigans.
Plus, I'm not sure how much of a getaway driver she would be.
You let her drive?
She was supposed to keep driving.
Right. She just stops and there's my ass hanging out. Big storefront windows on a restaurant. Busy as shit on a Saturday. Yeah, plus the kids were there. So I don't need them like narking me out to my mom. Like, Daddy showed his butt to people in the restaurant in town. And then knowing my mom, she'd lose her mind over it.
You son of a bitch!
And she'd
You
try to...
embarrass me oh so much.
Nothing embarrasses my mom like herself. There's nothing I can do to her that she doesn't already do all by her solo. What she says, how she dresses, when she tips over.
She doesn't see it that way, though.
Well, no. But that's okay.
For her, you're the embarrassment.
Right. Well, pardon me for being able to touch my toes.
Bastard.
Now, we get there, and the party was in the big screen porch. And
I couldn't think of a place I'd rather not have a party.
it's fucking full of people. Full of people. There are like 20 golf carts outside. There's cars parked all around. And then we show up. Some of my dad's side was there. Not many. Just like 2 aunts and my uncle, the former stock car driver. And then my cousin, who I haven't seen him since he was like a toddler. So it's like, oh, nice to see you again for the first time in 17 years.
I mean, I guess it's better seeing them there than at a funeral. Because the last bunch of funerals that I went to, it's like, these are people I haven't seen since I was a kid.
Oh.
So.
Touché.
Hey, boys and girls, it's time for another Hey, boys and girls. Hey, boys and girls. Hey boys and 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 girls. It's time for another ITradio fucking fucker shitting ass tits beer.
Dude, I don't
Too
like
much food.
starchy-
I'm watching my girlish figure.
I was.
It's
You're-
like you and your girlfriend are having a fucking contest as you can fit into the smallest pair of pants.
No, what I didn't eat at KFC. No, I just had like. See, when I've become full, instead of feeling like shit later, I stop eating when I first become full. I don't just continue to shovel food into my mouth, and then you're like, I don't know if I can do the show. I might pass out.
That's not my fucking fault. You take me to a goddamn all-you-can-eat
Dude, you want me to take you
buffet,
anywhere?
a pizza buffet, and I've fucking stuffed bread in my goddamn face for 45 minutes straight. What do you expect's gonna fucking happen?
It wasn't turkey.
Well,
you don't have a response on that one.
I think actually I was eating turkey pizza. There was turkey on some of the pizza. So I blame not only the carbs, but the fucking tryptophan. It was a twofer, and you fucking brought me. It was a setup. If it was any worse, you would have fucking dropped roofies into my water.
I tried, but I knew you had places to go afterwards.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of girl.
You're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
Now, right away, my mom's like, oh, come here, I want you to meet somebody. I don't know who she introduced me to. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And then I get hit up with this, oh, you remember so-and-so? I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah, you do. She does that shit to me all the time. I'll say anything and mean it and have the information. And then she has to negate what's coming out of my mouth with, I don't even know where she's pulling that shit from. But, oh, yeah, you remember so-and-so. No, Linda, I haven't been here for years. Like 5 or more. I don't go up there. There's nothing for me in that town.
No, not really. Not for you.
Yeah, it's changed a lot as far as, people coming in and out, and they've built onto it so much since then, but it's still the same thing every weekend. Most people are just going up there and drinking and playing golf, and
that's what I do.
Yeah, that's pretty
and
much.
Boat. I take the
and
boat out.
and the lake.
See if I can't drown the kids on the tube.
Usually, all 3 of those activities involve drinking. Even the drinking includes drinking.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You go around that place on a Saturday night, and you're going to run into at least 100 drunks.
Yeah.
And 5 people with cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah.
Like everybody up there is getting cancer.
And it's been happening for a decade. So I've said there's probably something in the water, probably a tainted well, or there's something underneath the ground that's poisoning people.
I don't think anybody drinks the water that comes out of the faucets up there. Everywhere I go, they all got bottled water.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does.
Suppose if you cook your food in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So when we got there, I laid down the law on my mom right away. Nobody's holding the baby that's not a blood relative. I don't want a bunch of fucking strangers that are baby crazy.
Well, she's how old at this time, though?
This was 3 months ago. She was 2 months old.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm like, I don't want a bunch of crazy asses manhandling my child, passing her around like a joint in a rap concert.
Well, and before they're like 3 months, I think that you're not supposed to, because they don't want all the germs.
Right.
Because everybody, 20 different sets of hands touching a kid. It's really bad for the kid.
You got to build up the kid's immune system at some point.
Yeah, but I think up to the first 3 months, you're not supposed to have, it's supposed to be limited contact, I thought. I don't know. I don't have any kids.
I have 4 kids. Never heard it.
No, if you're not confirming it, then maybe I just heard it from some crazy, homeless guy or something. Who knows?
Should probably stop hanging out around that particular bridge.
I'm saying if you can find a better deal on meth, then you're probably not. I don't know. I was trying to make up some joke and I just failed.
Hey, yeah.
You're probably not sucking the right dick.
No, they say you're not supposed to give a child under 1 year of age honey. So when my children were 9 months, I gave them honey, and they loved it.
Because you wanted to
roll
roll the dice?
No, because I knew it wouldn't hurt them.
Well, because all the bacteria in it, you mean? Well, because that's supposed to have the good bacteria, but I don't know. It might affect a kid differently. I don't know.
So anyways, I worked with a guy whose daughter was not too many months older than mine was when she got sick. And what happened was they went to a get-together. A bunch of people held the kid.
Yeah.
The kid came down with a hardcore case of RSV.
Which is?
Some respiratory virus thingy.
Ah.
Okay.
And it got so bad they took her to the hospital.
Okay.
And by that point she was so sick They threw her in the back of an ambulance, put her on oxygen, and drove her down to Children's Hospital.
That's a nice hour-and-a-half drive.
So, that story right there told me everything I need to know about not letting a bunch of weird fucking people I don't know handle my kid.
Yeah.
Understandably so, yeah.
So, no sooner do I get done saying that shit, I turn my back, and then I turn around again, and my mom's holding the baby. She's like, oh, can so-and-so hold the baby? I'm like, no. I said blood relatives only, goddammit. What don't you understand about it? Right to this woman's face. She's like 60 years old. I don't know who the fuck she is. I don't care about her feelings.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I can't. I'm like, no, sorry. Right out of the gate, I'm a dick. Thank you, Linda, for setting me up to be the bad guy. Like, I fucking told you something. Why are you so bad at respecting my boundaries?
You know what? Based on how I've heard her talk up there, I'm sure everybody up there already thinks you're a dick anyways, even though she's full of shit.
No. Yeah, I don't care. That's why I don't go up there. I don't need to impress those people. Because if I did, it'd be culture shock for her. If I heard half the crap she probably says about me, I'd be like, that's not true. As a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. And she's insane.
Understand how fucking stupid are you?
I like to go up there so my kids can hang around and swim and everything like that. And then it's to hang out with a couple other friends that might not go up there and drink and play games.
And get cancer.
Yeah, I usually always try to go up once a year on one of the bigger weekends and either make it like a golf weekend with like a friend or a couple friends, or do something. But it's usually it's not for the full weekend ever. It's just there's not a lot else to do up there.
No, there's not.
Unless you're on the lake. I mean, that if you fish, that's a great fishing lake.
Is it?
I mean, if you like northern.
Jack shit in that lake my whole life.
Oh, really? I don't know. We used to
I've
fish
never
there all the
caught a
time. Northern pike is what we used to get all the time, and then
I caught a 10-pound catfish. Horrible fish for me to catch. I don't like catfish.
They're fighters. What did it just?
I'm surprised it didn't snap my pole
Yeah,
in half.
I
I had a
was gonna
pole from like the 1950s. And
I was going to edit out the last minute, but then you brought up catfish. There was a running joke with me and the Beast. And it had to do with the movie Deliverance.
Okay.
With the fucking banjo playing and shit, and then the ass rape.
Yeah.
And I used to do this thing with
the Beast,
where I'd credit card the shit out of her ass. I'd make banjo music with my mouth. You just hear new, 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 and she'd like flinch. So after a while, for some reason, she's like, "Why are you always doing that?" I'm like, "Trying to get that catfish out your ass." And it became a running joke.
Wow.
About catfish in her ass.
Well, before that, do you remember a certain roommate of mine's chick?
Yeah, I remember that your old roommate used to emotionally manipulate a girl so she'd come over, blow him, and then he'd send her home and he'd call her the catfish.
Yeah.
Why'd he call her the catfish?
Because she looked like a catfish.
But you need to explain what specifically about her he thought looked like a catfish.
Well,
did she have whiskers?
I don't think it was him who called her the catfish. It was me and my brother.
Oh.
She
ugly?
had whiskers.
She had whiskers.
Dark, slight whiskers, and the very, very dark hair.
Mm.
Does she have a really wide mouth?
Kind of like one of those like
cock-sized.
Like it was kind of a short and wide face.
She North Korean?
I'm picturing Linda at this point.
Probably. I don't know. She's Asian of some sort, but
Asian of some sort. That's fun.
Anyway, moving on.
So, after I shattered this old woman's hopes of holding a baby, and probably made her have a terrible time the rest of the afternoon, my mom's like, "Okay, everyone, we want to get started? We want to get started?" It was a party not just for my old man, who after 34 years retired as a plumber, and this other guy up there who I don't remember who he is and what his story is, and I don't give a fuck. Because I'll probably never see him again before he dies of cancer, statistically speaking. And then, I'm very private. Right? I only let out as much information about myself as I have to. You never know how many people up there might be connected to somebody where I work. And then my mom does the one thing I forgot to mention, please don't fucking do. And that was slowly introduce every single one of us by our names. I'm fine with me and the wife. You could have said and their children. She had to name all the kids.
Well, they're her grandchildren. She's proud?
We have this rule when we go to the store where we don't use real names. Because they say you teach your kids to not use your real name at the store because a stranger might hear it and then try to lure them.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know a bunch of these people in this fucking place. And I got a bunch of goddamn people coming up trying to get my attention. You know, so she's doing this big, long introduction. And as she's introducing the other guy, talking about him, I'm tuning out. Now, when she starts talking about my dad, I tuned back in. And as soon as she mentions something about my dad, I hear this out of the back of the room. And maybe one of you can provide some context on this for me. Some guy cheers for my old man. Then I hear, "Yeah, Big Sexy." I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Big Sexy?
I have no idea.
I haven't heard him. I mean, I've played golf with him a few times over the years up there, and I've never heard anybody call him that as a nickname.
I would never think anybody would think to call him that as a nickname.
I just hear him called Raj.
He's got a boring haircut and the same mustache he's had since he was 16.
He hasn't aged.
And he's just lost some hair and it's turned grayish and white. And then he dresses like an old dad. So, you know, when somebody yells Big Sexy, I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is going on up here that I don't know about? Are they having like eyes wide shut key swapping parties?
God, I hope not.
Is it like a big gangbang? Because if they're doing a wife swap, whoever has to trade with my dad is getting the shit end of the stick. God. I mean, it's bad enough that my mom's my mom, but then knowing her, she wouldn't shut up the whole fucking time. And she's openly advertised for years that she never liked open-mouth tongue kissing. She thought kissing with tongues was disgusting. So if that's what grosses her out, think of all the other stuff you like to do with women, and imagine my mom does none of that. Which, I'm glad I don't have to imagine her doing a bunch of stuff, but still, that's got to be awfully fucking boring for my old man.
So he's basically Hank Hill in that situation. It's like, time for the little of the old, same old, same old.
I don't know, but I just picture my dad wearing some, like, nipple clamp, chainmail body rig, and then a pair of leather assless chaps.
Well, he does have the porn stash.
Kind of, but... Yeah, Big Sexy. Now, I have not yet called him out on this.
Well, you should certainly ask him.
Shut the fuck up. I'm going to call him and ask him.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, what's up?
I got a weird question for you.
Weird question.
Well, it pertains to when we were at your retirement party.
Yeah?
When Mom was introducing you, there was some guy in the back of the room that shouted, "Yeah, Big Sexy," when she introduced you.
Yeah?
Why is another man referring to you as Big Sexy?
Actually, he was the one we called Big Sexy, but all of a sudden he turned it around and he started calling me that for some reason.
There's not like a story behind it?
Well, there's that one ball player they call Big Sexy.
There's a ball player they call Big Poppy. There's a wrestler they call Big Sexy. And you don't look anything like Kevin Nash.
No, I don't know why he just called me that because I called him that.
Why did you call him that?
Because everybody else was.
Well, if everybody jumped off a bridge, would you do it?
The group that we don't always hang around with, but once in a while, so I just kind of, it was probably going around the campground long before we heard it even, but.
You mean like when Pucker Butt was? Okay, because he and I were still trying to get clarity on that one when we were discussing it. And then I asked Neil, and he had no idea. So I wanted some context on the whole thing.
Oh, I see. Do you remember Jan from the campground?
No, I have no fucking idea who that is.
Probably don't.
Why, does she have cancer now?
No, she was from Princeton, and in Cambridge. She married a guy here, 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, and they're kind of wild and crazy. They drink a lot. He fell off the dock. He went to the Muffies this summer on the pontoon boat, and he fell between the boat and the dock. Broke some ribs and busted his teeth.
I'm glad you're laughing at this man's pain.
It's just that they drink too much.
Does that have anything to do with the big sexy thing, or that's just a random extra bit of information?
Just random.
Huh.
I mean, they're fun people, but they overdo it a bit once in a while.
Uh-huh. Kind of an anticlimactic story.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll probably stop by later on.
Later on,
As in later on this evening, I'll bring the girls over.
Okay. Any idea what time?
No?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, see you then.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Well, there's a bunch of stupid stories that make no sense and didn't give me a fucking answer I wanted.
Because everyone else does.
The answer was that guy was probably drunk.
Yeah, probably.
Probably got drunk and danced around a fire in his underwear.
I'm just glad there's not something dirty behind it. Like, you know, some guy got drunk and tried something, and then my dad, just for once in his life, cut loose and teabagged somebody.
Because that would be epic.
Well, first off, I guarantee you,
doing that.
My dad's not the trimming his nut hair type, so it'd just be like a big, dirty old fuzzy wad of gum on somebody's cheek.
Or at least he didn't, like, get drunk and pull a Jim Leahy and wander around in a robe and his tighty whities.
Yeah. But my dad's polite, so he's probably the kind to ask somebody if they'll watch him masturbate first before he just starts doing it.
So he's a nicer Louis C.K.?
He's a nicer Louis C.K. And now, Jeremy Irons raps.
Make sure you do whatever is that you got to do. That's your job. And niggers gon' hate, but that's no prob. So hey fuck 'em. Don't need nothing from 'em. Some niggers talking, but the shit they claiming don't mean nothing.
That was Jeremy Irons raps.
You're listening to Blumpkin&Friends.
And my mom, this is still the fucking opening speech, by the way. She is terrible at working a crowd. I've never realized just how bad, though. Because she introduces people, then there's cheering, and then she has to bring the room down and mention somebody just died recently. And let's have a moment of silence and say a prayer. And I'm like, what the fuck is... I came for free food.
Was that right before you ate or something?
Yes.
Oh. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really... It's kind of like whatever, because they all know that person up there, so...
Yes, but when she said it, she's like, and so-and-so died, and, you know, it ruined our weekend. I'm like, what? It ruined your weekend? How about his fucking wife? It ruined her life.
Weekend. God damn it. I was going to have a nice weekend and fish and golf, and now I can't.
I realized it was an unfortunate choice of words. I don't think she's making it about herself. But as soon as she said that, I want to be like, I'm pretty sure it did worse for his wife, dummy.
Yeah. We were going to go to Applebee's this weekend, and you ruined that for us.
He fucking died.
The 2 for $20 deal? Consider that canceled.
I wonder what 2 entrees she'd get for herself.
I'm going to mail his widow a box of shit. Thanks for ruining my weekend.
P.S. My condolences.
There's also a flower in there somewhere, but it's probably just covered in shit.
Oh, God.
A fake flower.
So there's eating, and we're talking, and I'm talking to my uncle, who I thought he had more kids than he did. But I'm talking about how hard it is to fit all the girls in my car and how I can't. He's like, oh, you might have to get a van or bigger, you know, because you have any more. I'm like, whoa, I'm going to stop you right there. Nobody's making any more fucking babies in this house. There's not any place to keep them. So if it happens, we're going to sell it on the internet because you can get good money for white babies.
Wow.
What? It's the fact.
Didn't picture you went that way with it.
What, the semi-racist way?
No, not the
selling kids on the internet.
Give it to a poor kid or sell it on the internet.
Some poor people that can't make a baby on their own that want one. Here you go.
Yeah, that might be against eBay's terms of service. I haven't double-checked.
Yeah, that's why you use Craigslist. It's called
anything can happen on Craigslist.
Air quotes direct adoption. Anyway, I kept waiting for the opportunity to grab the microphone because I wanted to give a speech. And I waited till almost the end to do it, and I roasted the old man a bit. And my mom told me the second he saw me go up there and grab that microphone, he went, uh-oh. And I just announced who I was and that I'd like to just give a speech about my old man. And then he told my mom, he's like, I'm kind of nervous about this. So I asked anybody, how many people up here have ever had work done on weekends by my father? By show of hands, please participate. Raise your hand if he's ever helped you build something, rebuild something, move something, anything. And a bunch of hands go up. I'm like, look at that. Look at all that. Look at all those arms right now up in the air. This is a man who works 5 days a week and cannot wait to come up here to relax. And when he gets up here, he can't stop doing work. So he's going to retire in a month and a half here. And then he's going to be at home all the time. How's that going to go? Like, I give it about a week and a half before he loses his mind and starts climbing the walls. And then he's just over at my house all the time, unannounced, fixing shit when I'm not even awake just because he needs something to occupy his time. Which was my first joke, and I got kind of a laugh. So then I told the story. I'm like, and it's not just that he's handy, he also has a bit of ingenuity too. And I told the story of the Easter Bunny costume. The homemade painter's wear costume he made with the crappy, like, I don't even know what he made the mask out of. He just put like white plastic over his face and glued a nose to it, and then he cut 2 eyes, and the eyes weren't even the same size or in the right spot. And I'm telling people, I'm like, so when he did this, I think I was maybe 3 years old. I bet you I was hardly 2.5 feet tall. So Genius over here decides that he's going to be the Easter Bunny. So I want you to picture a man in an all-white painter's suit with a crudely made mask with eye holes that don't match and a crappy nose with pipe cleaner whiskers. And he stands straight up to wave at me, and a 6'3" fucking rabbit with no mouth hole in his mask goes, and I screamed and I ran downstairs for my grandpa to save me. Like, the best he could do wasn't to make little muddy bunny prints on the kitchen floor like some people do. He had to be a 6'3" fucking Easter Bunny.
That's the shit nightmares are made out of.
Right. And one joke I wanted to make, but I didn't because I wasn't sure of the crowd and there were some kids there. So I'm like, he's taught me a lot of things. He's taught me about cars. He's taught me about my house. He's taught me so much in my life. But if you count the number of my kids, he obviously didn't teach me a goddamn thing about wearing condoms. And then I thanked him. And I said, but anyways, I just wanted to say, I'm glad I could be here today to share this with you all because I love my father. He's always kept a roof over my head, food in my belly, and clothes on my back. So I ended it on a sweet note. Another thing I wanted to do that I wasn't sure how that was going to go over, just to dedicate to my father, is I thought that I would write a poem. But I couldn't formulate it fast enough in my head, and I didn't have any paper and a pen. And once again, there's a lot of churchy people up there, even though there's a bunch of drunks and weirdos. So I wrote a poem about my father. It's called My Raji. He lays on the floor, then he farts and he snores. My Raji. He's got holes in his undies, and always has the munchies. My Raji. He's graying and old, and his ass smells like mold. My Raji. He swings drivers for fun, and his nickname is Bung. My Raji. He expels noxious gas and sports a mustache. My Raji. He drives a black truck, and he's goofy as fuck. My Raji. I'm not sure how well that would have gone over with that crowd.
That was beautiful, man.
I don't know. Just because my mom was like, wow, there's people with their kids and you were swearing. Shut up.
Those kids hang up there often enough, they've heard it.
From a block away.
Other end of the campground.
Yeah, from the other end.
These guys during the golf tournaments, you can just hear them all the way up by my parents' camper.
Yep.
And now, story time. Well, one thing I can throw in there was a time up north where Tim and I and his friend Alex from back home were sitting on Tim's parents' golf cart. And it was parked on a slight decline. And his friend dared me to push the gas pedal.
Yeah, he thought it would make the engine flood.
So I tapped on the gas pedal, which released the parking brake, which then made it start rolling forward. And because I was like 11 or 12 and knew nothing about driving, I didn't think to step on the brake again. And in my defense, neither did he. What the fuck?
No, he didn't either. You both jumped off the cart.
Yeah. So it rolls forward right over a water hookup pipe and snaps that bitch clean off.
Didn't you guys try pushing it to stop it rolling?
We
Like,
tried pulling on it and pushing it, yes,
to
and it
stop
didn't.
And then it rolled forward and hit the water pipe.
So it breaks a pipe off, and there's a short geyser coming out of the ground. And it keeps going and going, and shortly after the pipe broke, your dad showed up. And he's like, what the hell did you do? And we had to cop to it immediately.
You know how many times water pipes in that part of the campground got broken because of, well, you or my brother and his friends?
I only broke one.
You only broke one, but my brother and his friends, 3.
Jesus Christ. Suddenly
And
I don't feel so bad.
Each and every one of them, I swear to God, was just a 1 in a million shot that what they were doing actually managed to hit the water pipe. Because they're right next to the electrical boxes. So there's kind of a safety measure there.
Yeah, you'd hit the electrical box pole.
They would hit that, and it wouldn't hurt it very much because I mean those were pretty sturdy. But
these pipes were just a single pipe sticking out of the ground.
PVC, like I don't even think they were 1-inch pipes. They're tiny.
Ridiculous. So then his dad goes running up to the building, trying to get the owner or the manager of the park to shut the water off, which he has to do. He has to shut the water off to one half of the park. And then my dad has to come over with his fucking toolbox, drop everything to fix this pipe that I snapped off.
Now, did he offer to do that? Because I know the owner.
I'm pretty sure he
himself.
did it to smooth the shit over for me breaking a pipe off, flooding a campsite, and half the park going without water for an hour or two while he dicked with this.
Gee, my dad never fixed any of the water pipes my brother and his friends broke.
Well, your dad wasn't a plumber. Also, my dad's got that odd sense of embarrassment / humility where he just wants to smooth it over as quickly as possible.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
He can't get away from that. You said you can't think of any goofy stories about my old man.
I just
Nothing
remember
he's
him
done or
coming by
said.
the next day asking if there were any geysers in the area.
Smart ass.
That's the only thing I can remember. Otherwise, all the years I've known your dad, he's been serious. You know, even when I go up there nowadays, it's just a polite greeting and all that. I don't hang around with your parents when I'm up there.
It's a facade. Secretly inside, he's a broken man.
You know, I kind of get that because he just always has that yes dear kind of mentality with your mother.
Yeah.
Linda.
I alluded to recently that I had to go through the RPS standings because we have to establish who the next challenger to Nurse Ashley is. You lost twice to her.
Yeah.
You lost the title and you lost the rematch.
Bitch.
Which means you then go back to the end of the line.
Sucks.
So I took 5 people. Graham, the Juice, you, Neil, and myself. And I had to look at our past 5 performances. You and Graham and Juice were all tied for a stunningly pathetic 1-4. That's 1 win and 4 losses. I was at 2 wins and 3 losses. He, by some odd twist of fate, having only played 6 fucking times in his last 5 attempts, was 3-2. But then a few episodes ago, I had Ivy on again. And I didn't get the hands from the Juice. So I played Ivy. And I won. Which ties us in our last 5. I think you know where I'm going with this. So now for number 1 contendership to Nurse Ashley's RPS championship, you and I will have to square off right now.
Okay.
So that is the game that we're playing this episode. want you to take a second to collect your thoughts.
Is this going to be a live game, or did you write these answers down?
They're on my phone. I already fucking texted them to myself.
Just making sure. That's why I thought we had a ref.
No, he's just here.
I'll decide if it's legit or not. So you better say your answer quick.
Quick? Why does that have to be quick?
So just be quick, god damn it. No fucking rhyme or reason to this shit.
I don't
So you're
know.
not, I don't want to be here all goddamn day doing the fucking RPS challenge.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've written them down now. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Blumpkin and Friends proudly brings to you the Rock, Paper, Scissors Intercontinental Championship Challenge Championship of the World! Hand number 1.
Scissors.
I also picked the scissors. No point. Hand number 2.
Scissors.
I had a feeling you would do this, so I also picked the scissors.
You son of a bitch.
Hand number 3.
One more time I'm going scissors, because I know that you changed it up eventually, and you threw a rock in there.
I picked rock. That's a point
Damn it.
for me.
I knew it would be one of the next ones. I didn't know which one it would be.
So instead of doing the opposite of what he knew was going to happen.
I have to.
I knew you were going to put rock, so I went with scissors.
So he both picked wrong and told us out loud as it was happening. It's incredible strategy.
Yeah.
That's almost as bad as the Juice yelling out her first hand at you that time before you even went.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Hand number 4.
Paper.
I also picked a paper.
God damn it.
So
I'm playing just to tie.
You have to get hand number 5 just to put it into overtime.
Just to tie.
Hand number 5.
Rock.
I also picked a rock.
You dick.
I seriously...
So I completely screwed myself, even though I knew what was going to happen, and I just brain farted.
I don't know.
It's
I'm surprised you
like,
didn't
you
just
need
go
to do
paper,
this.
paper, 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 paper.
I was thinking about it.
You lose.
It worked. I mean, he's got a better record than I do.
You lose.
You've played way more than he has. I have the stats saved to the computer. It's ridiculous.
I'm better live, like you're, paper, rock, scissors. You're using your hands.
Well, your
Better
easiest
that way.
opponent's usually your wife, who for some reason can't seem to beat you at this.
No, she can't. Kids can't beat me either. I'm usually
I'm sure it's a small victory. They all outnumber you. Plus, she's your wife, so. I mean,
you can rub it in her face later and during an argument.
literally, you could rub it in her face.
No.
These nuts.
I mean, what's the worst she's going to do? Burn the house down?
Oh, shit. That could happen.
I expected more of a reaction on referencing the last time your house burned down.
I didn't know what to say.
When your ex-wife allegedly might have tried to kill you all.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Interact with the show on Twitter at Blumpkin Show. That is at Blumpkin Show. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Blumpkin&Friends. I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
I'm number 1 fan, Tim.
Neil.
Why are you doing that?
Because.
Stop touching it. You're going to break it.
God damn it. Good night.